Okay, so that's the basic first head turn that we have. Okay. All right, so let's jump in now into the next hour of this stream and do a Darkwing Duck head turn as prescribed by the model sheets that are given to us. So let me change the scene. Let's put the webcam off the mic back on. Right, okay, so let's work with silhouette here, right? So let's start with the, now we're familiar with the model, right? Let's start with just the silhouette of the character, right? And get the head turn right. So we've got his head, his hair like this, right? So that's pose one. Now I'm gonna go in here. Let's let's look at pose two. So pose two, we want to put our head hair like this, right? So we're gonna have this hair up here like that. So again, you see, once we've familiarized ourselves with the model, we're able to work with the silhouette a lot easier, right? So people say, well, how do you draw in silhouette? A lot of people find it difficult to draw in silhouette because they haven't spent enough time learning the character or learning the model, right? The old school way of thinking, and it still is, but new character designers, I'm not shitting on them. I really am not. But they go to these places like Ringling and all these things, and they produce good-looking portfolios, and they learn the essential, which is like, what is the character's silhouette, right? So, but everything is that awful simple. Everything's a square or a triangle. They don't really have this kind of silhouette, right? Their characters don't have this kind of like sophisticated dance of shapes to create an appealing silhouette like this. It's all like, a square and an arm and a cape and then two little legs like this I'm just trying to not take my hand off the page, otherwise I would make it look better, right? Because I want to undo it, right? But all this kind of like stuff with all this modern shit, which is just done for ease. It doesn't have any real drawing power to it, right? So back in the day, the same theory was there with we want our character to be identified by its silhouette, right? I'm just going to put another frame between here and here because that's putting me off, right? So here we've got the silhouette working here. I can already even see from my silhouette that my volume is slightly off. This head is smaller than this head, but that's okay. I'm not here to try and do a perfect volume. I'm here to just examine the arc of the head, right? So let's now do the midway point, right? So the midway, they've got a nice little bit of drag in here, right? So they bring his head down, right? Now this is their head turn. It's not mine. I stress I would not animate so basic a head turn, right? But I guess this is what they want, they just want it to be right. When you farm stuff off to other countries with lesser animators, you just want it to be right. So they're not gonna, I'm pretty sure the guy who drew these model sheets would be able to do a really, really advanced head turn with little nuances if he wanted to. Some of you will know the kind of nuances I'm talking about. If you follow my streams, you know what I like to do. Right, so we have this, right? So we can see our head turn is kind of happening there, right? Like this, right? So now, before I go and draw in all the other ones, I'm gonna go and draw in the just go and add the features of the character in there, right? So again, we kind of like, we've been through it. So again, if you've forgotten how to draw his face, you just go back to the beginning of this video, and you can download, like you can, if you're this is what makes this stream very powerful, is the material that I'm working from is free for everyone to download. You just Google Darkwing Duck model sheet and you can watch it in conjunction with this live stream, and you've got yourself a free animation masterclass right there, what many people in uni would be paying thousands for, actually, and still probably not getting as good instruction. Right, so here we have this coming out here. So knock yourself out. Go download the sheet. Go familiarize yourself with the character the way I've said. Watch the video a number of times. And then you'll be ready to do this head turn and then having a go at silhouettes, right? And then if you're serious, you can consider joining my training library, which will really show you how to do things. Right, so here we have the mouth here like this, and the chin, which we're gonna throw in there like that. Now, one thing I like about him without his mask, which I find quite appealing, is this kind of like ruffles he has on his forehead, right? So we've got something like this. Now I'm going to put more of a neck on the character, so I'm just going to change it to the kind of like, I'm going to stick with what they've got, right? They've got his collar down here like that, and they've got something here. Now he wouldn't have animated this head turn, he would have just drawn it sequentially on the model sheet, right? I can tell, but I'm going to try and make it work, right? So this one, I'm now going to move on to this next pose here, which is the midway pose. So here he's got the blink, right? So we've got our eye blinking here like this. Just checking my chat. Animals are farting wood. Oh yeah, that was also very poorly animated, Akao. I can't remember who animated that, but that was also very, I think your memory is being very kind very kind to it. That was on TV. Me and you are almost the same age, Akal. So that was on TV when I was a kid, and I was waiting for Prince Valiant with my video recorder ready to press record. Right, okay, so here Prince Valiant was another show with awful animation, but I loved it. If I'm honest, that's the perfect TV cartoon in terms of storytelling for me. Right, so we have this here like this, and the mouth comes in and down. See how it all starts to add together when you start to apply these rules. We can see the head turn happening. The chin comes in here like this. And we've got the cheek there like that. Right. We've got the ruffled forehead. I'm just gonna make it kind of add up to a little bit to what we got there. So then we got the colors. Again, I'm not using the light box. I'm not so interested in trying to make the most perfect thing. We're examining the shapes of the head, what we've learned about the head in order to do the head turn, right? So this is going to be what we call a slow out head turn, right? So now we're going to hit our last pose. So our last pose again here, we're going to put the eyes in there like that. One eye here. This eye is going to be small and thin to give perspective to the head, just like that, with our eyebrows coming on top. The bill along the middle, the mouth shape here, just on there like that. So you see how it all fits into the silhouette so perfectly, right? So this is again why animating in silhouette is just so vital. Somebody they had good intentions, so I don't want to say anything detrimental about them, but they again were focusing on the whole software thing. They said, left a comment on my video, why do you animate in Storyboard Pro? And I just simply answered, why not? And then they're like, have you used Toon Boom Harmony? It will speed up your work. And I don't want to, I don't want to be condescending. He's only trying to be, share what he knows. But there's very few people out there as fast as me. It's not the software that speeds up my work, right? It's the understanding of the craft, right? And here you can see the silhouette, the understanding of the model, the drawing ability, the skill, the silhouette, making everything fit, the knowing of the 12 laws of animation. That's the key to being fast. That's the key to really having the skill, to be able to work at speed and knock stuff out that would take others months, weeks, days, depending on their skill. Right. Okay, so now let's go in and do another bit of the head turn. Let's go and put in, he's got more hair, so let's go and put in the in-betweens. So he suggests to put one hair, right? And his shape is going to be, I'm going to stick to his shape, but it has to kind of match up. So this is going to be on a half, I would imagine, right? So I'm just looking at what he's got. So this is going to be on what we call a half. So he's opening the mouth here. Well, he's closing it actually. He's closing the mouth. And he's putting the eyes on a kind of like half expression here. So we can have a look at the eye expression altering here, right? So he would have kept that eye shape, right? Like that. But then what he's doing, and again, we've got facial asymmetry here, right? So again, this eye is going to be very different in shape and size to this eye, and that's a good thing, which is again what today's modern shapeshifters who just play and design for software, they'll never get this because they haven't learned this kind of strong cartoon drawing, and they don't understand the whole process of what goes in to getting the appeal factor of that facial asymmetry correct. So then everything here I'm spacing on a halfway point between, right? Just like that. And I'm quite loose. I'm not gonna focus too much on the volume of my bill, but once you understand the model and the shapes, you don't really have to think too hard, and your volume is almost there, right? So the illusion of volume and the myth of keeping volume, again, it's just down to a lack of true learning and true preparation for these essential things. It's like I was talking about the silhouette drawing, right? The only reason people find it hard to draw in silhouette is they haven't really explored the design of their character enough, right? So now we've got one more which he's put in between here and here. Now this is an in-between, right? But it's just a basic spacing. It's broken down. So we got our key positions, right? And we're putting in our breakdowns. Just like a walk cycle, right? So then here, again, we're going to do it on a simple half, right? I'm going to put it simple halfway of the head. It's going to come here, and again the whole facial asymmetry thing. So the eyes is going to be thinner and smaller on that side. We're going to then have the bill open up here in line with the center line. We're going to bring that so the center line is here, right? So we're going to bring that down. So all of the stuff from the model sheet that we explored at the beginning of the live stream, it's all being used to just bust this stuff out super fast, super effortlessly. Now look at the arc of the cheeks, right? Going down and it's coming up, right? So these things I'll have to, if I wanted to tidy it up, I would tidy them up and I would have them a little bit more consistent. But at the moment it's enough. We're getting the kind of head turn that we want from this, right? Basic head turn. It's funny, even though the animators who in I don't know, Japan or Korea or wherever this was sent were given this information in this model sheet. If you look at the show and you freeze frame it or watch it on YouTube, it's just awful. They haven't really followed what has been put in the model sheet. They've just probably just done what they thought would be the way. It's just like, even if they would have just done a head turn like this, it would have had pretty okay animation, but never mind. I guess they've got deadlines, and if you're not, it's easy for me because I understand it. I have the skills, but if you haven't been trained to this level, it's going to take a longer time to get. So sometimes, working in hand-drawn animation back in the day or any time is hard, because to find the people that are actually to level, it's very difficult. You see, it isn't just about one drawing. It never is. It's about really understanding appealing shape simplification, balancing those shapes. Now I'm going to kind of just try and make this color work rather than looking at his color, right? Because as I said, he didn't even animate the head turn. He just drew it in sequence on the model sheet and explained it, right? This is what I've done many times when making reference sheets. Okay, so this is the basic Darkwing Duck. They probably paid by the second, so the faster the better, even if it's wrong. Yeah, Mr. Leon would know. Okay, so that's the basic first head turn that we have. Okay, could be better. If I wanted to tie it down, I would take out all the subtle growths between the first pose and the last pose, but we're not here for that. We're just here to make sense of what we've learned from the model sheet. And that's the most important thing, is to play around with these things when we do them.
So, AMB is the greatest archive anyone could ever ask for.
Of all the books I've read, of all the other online tutorials I've seen, this was the missing key.
Every video is like packed with this information that I would never be able to get anywhere else. So I would say this is the greatest resource for learning animation.
For me, AMB Animation Library is hands down the best animation learning resource that I've seen. I've tried all the tutorials, I've gotten all the books. I've never been able to really grow until I found AMB.
And it's incredible. I've only just begun it, but I definitely am getting more from that than I did from my 1.5 years of college.
I've noticed definitely that my animation has improved a lot, and it's more alive than ever. And what I also like about this animation training is that you also gain real confidence.
Real Animator Training Library is unequivocally the best resource for animation, 2D animation, traditional hand-drawn animation that I've seen.
So I wholeheartedly recommend the AMB Real Animator Training Library to anybody who wants actual knowledge and actual applicable concepts to create their own animation and to move forward in the field of animation, and to set your work above those that are just kind of teaching themselves and not learning these tried and true classic concepts.
AMB is motivated by his students' successes and improvements. He's a great teacher, a great animator with over 20 years experience in the industry, so you can't really get much better than that. I strongly recommend him to anybody.
I'm thinking on how to put in words what I feel about it. I love that. It approached me from my dream of becoming an animator. Every cent I paid in there was worth it.
I like that the library is structured. I can go back and watch it anytime I want to. And he's just got so much knowledge. And I just highly recommend it to anyone who's out there looking to learn traditional 2D animation.
So thank you, MB, so much. And thank you so much for all you done for me.
So, are you gonna join the library?